He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
Well, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where we talk about life, we talk about liberty, we talk about the pursuit of happiness, and yes, we show the world that Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you are located and listening to the show. I know here in Louisiana it's hot and it's rainy. It's we having a cold front pass through, though, ladies and gentlemen. And look, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm excited because normally when cold fronts come through, that means we have some good hunting weather. So 9 out of 10, I will be in the woods this weekend, hopefully, to go ahead and get me a couple of tree rats. You might be like, ugh, tree rats eat squirrels. And if you live in Louisiana, that is a delicacy. Because I love me some good squirrel with some white beans and rice. Make you want to slap your mama. I wouldn't recommend it, but it'll make you want to slap your mama. And I'm telling you some. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I think I said that on the podcast a while back. I can't remember right off my head. That's why I like hunting, man. I love the food. Don't get me wrong. I love killing an animal, skinning it, getting it ready for prep, putting it in a stew or putting it in, so smothering down in a gravy or something like that. I like doing that. But at the same time, the reason I go out in the woods, for all you environmentalist people, y'all think we just like to kill animals. That's just not the case. I love going out in the woods and just seeing nature, just having a good time. And last weekend, me and my little sister went out in the woods. We brought my youngest son with me, or my oldest son with me, and it was his real first hunting experience. He told me he liked it, but it was just too quiet and too slow. And if you're not in the pursuit of animals, it does get kind of slow, but I'm just saying. Anyway, thank you to everyone that has continued listening to the show. Love your support. Thank you for your support. If this is your first time, please hit the subscribe button. Please share the episode. Go check out the YouTube page. Go check out the Rumble page. Go check out Spotify. Go check out Apple, Google. Go check out our website, thecajunconservativeshow.wordpress.com, the Twitter, the Facebook account, all them good things. The videos are on Facebook now. I upload them. And just getting some good response from everything. Ladies and gentlemen, we need more people on the Facebook side. Please go and just ransack my Facebook page if you have not yet. Got some great things. Got some great articles lined up. And a few opinions that I got for the week. And it's a lot of things that I'm seeing as we get closer to the midterms. But I want to hit you home. That's what I'm going to say right here, because one of my opinions, and it's going to be at the end of the show, so stay tuned. I'm going to be talking about you getting involved in your local politics, and you being, if you're a young person, you need to be aware of what's going on in the nation. So we're going to get to that in a few minutes. But anyway, so let's start off. So I believe, ladies and gentlemen, Biden has not been anywhere. He has not been campaigning for candidates, and that's what they want, ladies and gentlemen. The Democrat Party does not want Biden out there. If you remember the first midterm election that Donald Trump, well, the only midterm election Donald Trump was part of, it was in 2018. They did lose the House. And, you know, I'm watching people like, so I saw an analyst earlier on MSNBC, and he was breaking down how this is normal. How this is normal that a president, it will lose the House, and it depends on their approval rating. Now, the media is pushing that his approval rating got to 44%. At this time, Donald Trump was 45%, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is the thing. I think Donald Trump was very popular with the American people. And the media, we have already proved with the Herschel Walker incident that they're making up as they go in my opinion. And I'm reading other things with that. The media is trying to blast Herschel Walker, and every article I'm still reading, every article says even Fox News, we cannot independently confirm any of these accusations against Herschel Walker, but the media keeps on rolling along with it. Why? Because they're trying to help the Democrat Party. But like I was saying, Biden has not went anywhere. He has not campaigned for any. He has not campaigned for any candidate. I just saw for the first time he's going to Oregon because the state of Oregon might have his first GOP governor in years because of the Democrat Party. Now, like I said, they tried using the numbers, or this is why it's normal. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a referendum on what the president is doing, but the president has not gone anywhere except this one time to Oregon, and that is he's planning on going there pretty soon. Now, but this is why I'm bringing this out. All of a sudden, though, Biden is on television. Ladies and gentlemen, after 230 some to 40 some days of not letting the media get near him with a 10-foot pole, all of a sudden he is doing interviews. He did an interview a few weeks ago with CBS, and it was the 60-minute segment. And ladies and gentlemen, it was hard to watch. They clipped it down to about 25 minutes of Biden and the host talking. And those 25 minutes was probably the hardest for Biden because CBS was throwing him softball questions and he still messed it up. We still had some things that he tried to present, and guess what? It was a sabotage. He could not answer any questions, even softball questions. Well, he goes ahead and have an interview with Chief Washington correspondent Jake Tapper, and it was featured on Tuesday night CNN Tonight. And Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't as bad as the CBS interview, but this is still bad, especially towards the end. Because Jake Tapper, and I watched this whole thing today, this morning, waiting for some jobs to come in. I just sat down, looked at my iPad, and I saw this, and I watched it. And I will say this, CNN did a way better job than CBS. Because now it was a 15-minute interview. Well, what they edited, they probably talked a lot longer than that. I've done this here where I go ahead and I talk and I have to edit things out or something of that nature. But Jake Tapper started off with Russia and Ukraine and how Biden was talking about Armageddon. If there's a nuclear war, it's going to start off World War III or Armageddon, and Jake Tapper kind of pressed on that. But then Jake Tapper started asking about other things like inflation and let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. He talked about the U.S. going into a recession. He asked the question, and basically what he asked Biden is, do you think America's going into a recession? And when I first heard the question, I was thinking to myself, Jake Tapper, you're a reporter and you don't know that we're already in a recession. Now, people might say, oh, no, we're not. But if you remember, 2 consecutive GDP growth, we're in a recession. That has been always the trademark of getting a recession. But the Democrat Party, as we reported earlier in the year, the Democrat Party says, no, that's not the definition of a recession no more. Please, y'all conservatives and y'all Republicans, stop saying that because we define what is a recession. Even Biden said, no, we're not in a recession according to his answer. He said we might go into a slight recession. Ladies and gentlemen, me hearing this morning while eating my egg sandwich, I nearly choked. Because I don't care if it's a slight recession. If we go into a slight recession, how long is the slight? How long is the timeline of that slight recession? And a recession is a recession. You can't tell me, oh, a big recession than a small recession. It's better than a big recession. No, ladies and gentlemen, that's the problem. A recession is a recession. It's bad. You should not downplay a recession, ladies and gentlemen. But the president did that. The president went ahead and brought that point out. He was basically saying that it's a slight recession. I'm going to go ahead and try to find the quote. Let's see. Now, I didn't know this. Don Lemon got demoted to doing mornings. Yay. Yeah, so he gave let's see. Reflecting concerns from JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon that a recession is likely to happen in 6 to 9 months, Tapper asked the president, should the American people be prepared for a recession? Biden's response was to downplay the concerns, telling Tapper no. And look, they've been saying this now, how? Every 6 months they say this. He went on to claim that it hadn't happened yet, which is a lie. I just said this. 2 negative GDP growths is the threshold for a recession. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a recession. Look, you cannot hardly buy groceries right now. I was talking to a fellow truck driver earlier, and we were talking about our tires, ladies and gentlemen. 2 tires, 2 brand new tires, 24.5s. If you're a truck driver and listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Cost almost, and that's this is the cheapest tires we can get for brand new, $800. That is $400 a piece for a tire, ladies and gentlemen. Groceries, you go into the store, things are high, ladies and gentlemen. Meat is up. Bread is up. Your common goods, your sodas, ladies and gentlemen, your sodas are running almost $7 a case. I never heard of this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a recession, but the president says it hasn't happened yet. Because like I just mentioned earlier in the podcast, the Democrat Party said we are going to redefine what a recession is. And there's no guarantee that there's going to be recession. I don't think there will be a recession. How did everyone acknowledge a recession is possible, though he claimed it is? If it is, it will be a very slight recession. That is, we'll move down slightly. Biden would confirm to Tapper he acknowledged it is possible, but emphasized, I don't anticipate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Biden can go ahead and anticipate anything he wants. We're in a recession. So that's one thing Biden goes ahead and makes a goof on, but by saying no, there is no recession. Also, Tapper acts, like I said, they did talk about Ukraine, they talked about Russia and the nuclear war and everything of that nature, which I hope it don't happen, ladies and gentlemen. He did bring that out, and he said he don't think Putin would do it, and that's a whole segment in for itself. But then Jake Tapper, now this is from the Daily Wire, the last article I pulled from the town hall. Jake Tapper asked President Joe Biden Tuesday about potential criminal charges hitting his son, Hunter. And the president's response was nothing but love and admire for whom he once called the smartest man he knows. This is Tapper's question. Last week, it was reported that federal prosecutors gathered enough evidence months ago to charge Hunter Biden with multiple crimes related to taxes and lying to investigators about a gun purchase, according to the Washington Post. Tapper asked Biden how he react to the news about his sons personally and politically. Now, that's a good question, ladies and gentlemen. I reported here, Hunter Biden could go to jail. Hunter Biden could face charges of tax fraud and also be charged with lying on a 4473. And if you don't know what a 4473 is a questionnaire that asks you certain questions, and if you answer one of them questions wrong, you cannot get a firearm by a licensed dealer and also a legal dealer. If you don't fill those out, but as we know, Hunter Biden had trouble with drugs, or I think still has trouble with drugs. He answered that he had been convicted, or if he ever took drugs or abuse of drugs, and he answered yes on the questionnaire, or he answered no. Now, Biden also said, well, he wrote a book and he said how he recovered and how he answered no on there, and he was honest with the American people. I don't care if you're honest with the American people. Now, you still lied. You shouldn't. Look, I promise you, if any Tom, Dick, and Harry or me would answer a wrong question on there or lied, we would be put in jail because we falsified information on a gun background check. But he asks this question. Like I said, Tapper, that's a good question. I'm glad Tapper asked. But of course, they didn't press President Biden on this. They went right to the next topic after this. Biden replies, well, first of all, I'm proud of my son. The president began. This is a kid who not a kid. He's a grown man. He got hooked on, like many families have had happen, hooked on drugs. He overcame that and established a new life. Yeah, by going to China and quid pro on the Biden's name. No charges have been filed against Biden's 52-year-old son after the criminal into Hunter Biden business dealings beginning in 2018. As investigation grows, multiple agents' scrutiny of whether he paid all the taxes that he was required to, and whether he lied on the ATF form 4473 background check while purchasing a firearm. Now, Biden also said this: "I'm confident that what he said and does are coincidence with what happened." Biden said, "I have great confidence in my son." He added, "I love him, and he's on the straight and narrow, and he has been for a couple of years now, and I'm just so proud of him." Unless that straight and narrow turned into a circle, Biden is not on the straight. Hunter Biden is not on the straight and narrow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this was Trump's son or daughter, Jake Tapper wouldn't have. No, wait, hold on, Mr. President. I didn't ask that. I asked if you, what you feel about him politically, and he would have pressed Trump so much that, ladies and gentlemen, it would have been like, wow, what are you doing, Jake Tapper? But Jake Tapper let it go. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, if the straight and narrow is a circle now, Biden's on it. Hunter Biden is not on the straight and narrow. Also, Biden also went ahead in this interview and attacked gun rights. Oh, what you mean he attacked gun rights? President Joe Biden said Thursday on CNN Tonight that he will pass an assault weapon ban before he leaves office. Anchor Jake Tapper said Democrat voters approve of the job you're doing. Democrat voters overwhelmingly like you, which I don't believe that as well. I've talked to multiple Democrats in just my lonely state, and they say they don't want Biden to run again. I talked to one yesterday. But one poll shows that almost 2/3 of Democrat voters want a new nominee in 2024. And look, look, if they like Biden so much, why they don't want him to run in 2024? If they like what he's doing, they like his policies, why don't they want him back in 2024? Just a thought. I'm just asking. The top reason they gave was your age. I don't believe so. Biden is a bad candidate. Biden is a bad president. Biden, look, and he talks about how he passed the infrastructure plan. He passed other legislations, which the only thing he can brag about is 2 of them. Everything else has been stopped. Well, he can also brag about the CHIPS bill, but that was also held by the Republican Party. So what's your message to Democrats who like you, who like what you've done, but are concerned about your age and demands of the job? Biden says their concerns whether or not I can get anything done. Name me a president in recent history that gotten as much done as I have in first 2 years. Let's see, Donald Trump. Even I don't like him too much, but on his agenda that got passed, Barack Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton. That's 4. They got a lot done in their first 2 years. So Biden went ahead and just messed up that question. First 2, not a joke. The vast majority of Americans do like what I've got done. And so it's a matter of can you do the job and believe I can do the job. I've been able to do the job. I get more done. I got all the legislation passed. No, he didn't. He still got legislation that's sitting on the books. I ran on that. I said this, I was going to do it, and I'm still getting it done. Dealing with, making sure the veterans get compensations for burnt pits. Now, see, they added that for Biden, but Tapper finished off that statement for him. They didn't put that in this article. Making sure we're in a situation where we finally have actions on gun. By the way, I'm going to get an assault weapons ban before this is over. I'm going to get it done. Not a joke. That wasn't the question. He's just, well, look what I got done. This is what I'm going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, first off, he's defending his son. Did not question anything that his son did criminally. He says we're not in a recession, which we are. Now he wants to take away your firearms. Because, see, ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing. When people, we need to ban assault weapons. Well, define me assault weapons. AR-15. Well, what is the caliber of an AR-15? 270, a 30-30, a 30-06, 223. That's what AR holds. So if AR can hold them shells, does that mean like an everyday long rifle would be considered an assault weapon? See, ladies and gentlemen, you can put anything in this. You can, as an assault weapon. A knife can be an assault weapon, which it has been. Have you ever read on the news when people stab other people? Well, that makes a knife an assault weapon. So you really can't define assault weapon, and this is what the left wants to do. They want to try to combine all these firearms into assault weapons so they can take it away from you. And Biden is plainly right here saying he wants to defy the Constitution and take away your firearms. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, look, Jake Tapper and his team at CNN did a great job covering up a lot of his goofs. But even Joe Biden, in this interview, which was only 15 minutes long that aired, showed his true colors. And ladies and gentlemen, I think this is why in 2022, there will be a red wave. There will be something that happens on November 8th, which is only 20 some days away and counting. Ladies and gentlemen, this president right here doesn't care about you. He cares about his power, and he cares about how he can help his family and help his party stay in power. He don't care about the American citizens. He cares about his honor and his reputation. On that note, we'll be right back after this short break. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here, and I am with Phil Kennedy. He is the artist of the Center of the Door album that I have in my hand right here. And Phil, thank you for coming by, and just wanted to ask you a little bit about your album. And does this tell me a little bit of information what led you to make this album?
Thank you, Brother Isaac. I am a songwriter mostly, and firstly, I'm a preacher of the gospel. So the Lord has always blessed me, it seems, with a song, with a sermon for the song. And that seems to be how it started when I first started preaching. So, before you know it, you've written way more songs than you have sermons, and I just like to get a little group of them together now and then. It's the songs I've been singing as I travel to Mexico and this place and that, and preach Oklahoma or wherever else the Lord takes me, and I sing those songs. So I put a little CD together.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be honest, it's a great album. Look, even my friend Scott Ford, I sent him a digital copy of it, and he loved it. He said he loved the album. He loved the way you sing, and it's a real big blessing. It's a good blessing for us, man.
Thank you so much. And I know that it's available in the digital world. It's available with me physically if you just message me or try to friend me on Evangelist Phil Kennedy Facebook, and the other information I'm sure you can give them.
Right. Well, we know for sure it's on Apple Music and it's on Spotify, where you can find the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Go ahead and look it up after you listen to our podcast. Go listen to a little bit of Phil Kennedy's album, Center of the Door. You'll be blessed. I promise you.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Oh, I like reading stories like this, ladies and gentlemen. Trump-backed candidate Tasha Baska, I guess, projected to defeat 20-year incumbent Lisa Murkowski, election forecasters say. Now, I believe it was Lisa Murkowski that went ahead and voted to impeach Donald Trump. She was one of the 6 senators. Now, we unfortunately we have a senator in Louisiana that that voted to impeach Donald Trump, and I am not for backstabbing Cassidy. And on which we're about to talk about a story about Louisiana politics, and I'm going to bring this out because just thinking of this, Lisa Murkowski is in danger of losing her seat, according to Fox News. She has held for 2 decades to a challenger from her own party, backed by former President Donald Trump. A Republican has roughly a 99% chance to win next month's Alaska Senate election, with Republican challenger Kelly C. Tashabak considered most likely to emerge with a 53%, according to the election forecaster of 528. So, ladies and gentlemen, another one. And when I read this, the first thing that came to my mind was the song that Another One Bites the Dust. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this proves that the nation likes Donald Trump. See, Lisa Murkowski, Liz Cheney, Bill Cassidy, and the other nuts that voted to impeach Donald Trump are in danger for their job. Bill Cassidy is all right. We've heard, and he has not announced, but Bill Cassidy was thinking about running for governor of Louisiana. I would like to see him try, because he would see how Louisiana treats him. I don't think he's going to jump in the race because our Attorney General, Jeff Landry, he's famous in the state right now, it's probably going to win that election hands down. I talked to one of my state representatives the other day. I was at a council meeting. He showed up to endorse the candidate, and I asked him, I said, Jeff ran, and this is my state representative told me this. He said, Jeff is the favorite to win this election, the governor's race. So if you're listening in Louisiana, please vote Jeff Landry, but Jeff Landry has a good shot if you're a true conservative. But it's kind of funny. Everyone that has backed up to impeach Donald Trump, the nation or their state, has told them, get out. Ladies and gentlemen, there was 10 Republicans, I believe, that voted in the House side. 4 of them lost their primaries. 6 of them retired. And this is happening. This is the first one of a senator. And like I said, I'm hearing, another one bites the dust. Yeah. That's all I'm hearing, ladies and gentlemen. And I look, Alaska needs a good conservative. I hope this woman that's running, I never heard about her. There's a couple of Senate races, and that's maybe my fault. I have not really paid that much attention to. The closest ones is Pennsylvania and Georgia that I've been paying. But ladies and gentlemen, Arizona's getting tight. Nevada is a toss-up. 2 blue states. Oregon, the governor might lose. And 9 out of 10, if they go vote for the governor. Look, I talked to my friend Roger from C3s the other day, and he's from Arizona. He said he don't see people going to vote for Kerry Lake for governor and not voting for Blake Masterson. There's a lot of Senate. Look, Marco Rubio, he's favored, but that's one of those races. Hey, Louisiana, the same thing. I don't focus too much on the Louisiana Senate race because the polls are showing John Kennedy is going to blow everybody out the water. But this right here, this is a shocker, ladies and gentlemen. Lisa Murkowski has not been in danger of her seat for 20 years. And look, I believe we need to take out the rhinos, in my God honest opinion. All right. Also, just breaking a few minutes ago at the time of this recording, Alex Jones ordered to pay nearly $1 billion to families of Sandy Hook massacre victims. Ladies and gentlemen, this ain't the millions that I think like 500-some million that he has to pay before. His company, InfoWars, is gone. And look, ladies and gentlemen, he can have his opinions, but Sandy Hook was a tragedy. I'm not going to say it didn't happen. It did happen. And him to come out and defame the families like this was wrong. Now, this is the only danger I see with this is they're the people that put the judge that put this $1 billion and 500-some million. This is Alex Jones is done, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked Alex Jones, you better find some old tapes because Alex Jones is not coming back after this. Alex Jones is discredited. Alex Jones is without money. All this. Now, I don't like Alex Jones. I never liked Alex Jones. A lot of people come up to me. Did you hear what Alex Jones said? No, I'm not going to listen to Alex Jones. Alex Jones was one of these nuts that ran around. Trump's going to be back in May. Trump's going to be back in August. And Trump's going to be this. And it never happened. And I remember people calling me and telling me, Isaac, man, do you see what's happening? Alex Jones. And I'm like, stop listening to that. Donald Trump is not the president. He will not be the president unless he runs in 2024 and wins. But he's not the president now. Biden is the president of the United States. He swore on the Bible. It's a done deal. Yeah, but the military doesn't. No, stop. And that a lot of that came from Alex Jones and other people. It didn't happen. I told people it's not going to happen. Now, look. If you believe that, I hope I didn't offend you. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to base our information on facts. That's why, a lot of people. I only got hit with a strike one time from YouTube. One time. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I pull from reliable sources. I pull from credited newspapers, and I have evidence. I have my articles. They're like this article. This came from Fox News. But Alex Jones, and look, it's free speech, ladies and gentlemen. He could say whatever. I tell anybody that. I think people should say, but you got to have some facts behind it. And Alex Jones did. Alex Jones just came out of the woodworks. There's maybe 1 or 2 things that I agree with Alex Jones. That's it. But he has to pay $1 billion. Now, this is big news all over. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about my state races. And this was done Tuesday when I saw this news article and it flared me up. I went on Facebook. I shared it with my friends that are on groups. I shared it on my page, my personal page, the Twitter account, the Truth account, a Parlor, Locals. I shared this all up because, ladies and gentlemen, this burns me up right here, what I'm about to read. And listen to this. New midterm ads accuse GOP rep of putting a gun to his wife's head. When I read this, I'm like, okay, let me read. A Republican in Louisiana unveiled a fresh attack. Now, I'm going to stop right there, ladies and gentlemen. A Republican in Louisiana unrevealed a fresh attack ad. Now, I'm going to give you some backgrounds because we're similar to Georgia, but not all the way like Georgia. So we don't have primaries here in the state of Louisiana, which I wish we did. I really do. But the way our system works is that you throw your name in the ring. Come election day, everybody's on the ballot. The reason it was done like this is because, ladies and gentlemen, back in the day, Louisiana's a red state now nationally, but it used to be a very dark blue state. Well, when the Republicans finally took over, they canceled the primaries. So it would give the Republicans a chance to win. But now we come to a point to where there's so many Republicans in the state that is backfiring on the Republican Party. It is helping out the Democrat Party because this is why John Bell walked in twice. And this is why I hope nobody runs against Jeff Landry. I hope all the Republicans say, no, we're not going to run. We're going to let Jeff run. Which is not going to happen. There's going to be one or two Republicans that are going to put their foot in the spoke and going to try to stop it. Excuse me. But anyway, so all the candidates go into one basket. On November 8th, this is the election this year, we in Louisiana are going to go to the polls. And we're going to vote. And if you make over 50%, you go ahead and you win your seat. If you make under 50%, if all candidates make under 50%, the top two candidates go into a runoff. And that's how it is in Louisiana. And the winner of that goes on to be the representative or the senator or whatever it happened. But anyway, so to start back, a Republican in Louisiana unveiled a fresh attack ad on Representative Clay Higgins Thursday, resurfacing decade-old allegations that he pointed a gun to his wife's head. Local prosecutor Holden Hoggatt is running as a Republican to unseat Higgins and released a brief ad in September. And in the ad, a police officer lays out accusations that Higgins' ex-wife made against him in court in 1991. The officer accused Higgins of putting a gun to his wife's head, threatening her if she divorced him, and refused to pay child support for 17 years. The style of the ad, featuring a comical, over-serious cop, is meant to mock Crime Stoppers videos that Higgins had made during his career as a police officer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've invited Holden Hoggatt. I think that's how you say his name. To this show. I've emailed him. I tried calling. I've done all that. I haven't gotten no answer. Now, he's from, to my knowledge, from the Lafayette area. And ladies and gentlemen, people ask me, because we have some people in this district. This is my district. This is the 3rd district. And when you see this on the national news, I want to talk about it. People were asking me about him. Because some people here in Louisiana feel Clay has not done his job. Now, I disagree with that. Because, like I tell them, y'all want Clay to do something, but Clay can't get nothing done in the House of Representatives as long as Nancy Pelosi is sitting in the House seat. As long as she's Speaker of the House, she ain't going to get nothing done. Yeah, but Clay should be try harder. Every Republican representative is having this problem, ladies and gentlemen. But people think that's Clay's fault, and it's not Clay's fault. And Holden is one of them. Now, Holden can't run bashing Clay Higgins' record. Clay Higgins' record is pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing some people disagree with Clay on is his veteran vote, which I've got inside sources that told me the reason he did that, they added so much pork to that bill that it wouldn't help the veterans, it would hurt the veterans. So he voted against it. And I admire Clay for that. Now, like I said, he can't run on his vote. He can't discredit him on his voting record. So what he does is he helps the Democrat Party out by throwing an ad that trashes a Republican. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you might not know about this because you might be in another state. You might be listening like, well, Isaac, what is that? What does got to do with Louisiana? Ladies and gentlemen, Republicans should stop fighting Republicans. I hate when I see Republican candidates attack each other, especially here in the state of Louisiana. I made a comment that John Bel Edwards got in twice by doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the bad thing about Louisiana, but this also happens all over the country where you have Republicans biting down on other Republicans to make themselves look better than the rest of them. Ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm shocked. I'm going to be honest with you about Georgia with Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker has been brought down lower. They called him a deadbeat dad. They say that he that he had this woman that he asked to have an abortion, and all of a sudden he had another abortion. Now she has a kid, and she said she went to court and asked for child support, and nothing is proven. CNN, Fox News, Political, all of them say every time I read an article. Now it's way down in the article, but every time we read an article, we cannot independently confirm that this stuff happened. And I'm shocked, ladies, right now that the Republican Party is standing behind Herschel Walker. Normally, in normal circumstances, they would cut him down lower than a dog. But they're standing behind him. That's a surprise to me. But ladies and gentlemen, and look, I know why Holden is doing this. Holden is trying to win a seat, and he cannot run again. He cannot bash Clay Higgins on his record because Clay has a good voting record. Clay is a good man. I've met Clay. Ladies and gentlemen, Clay Higgins is one of the best representatives in the House of Representatives right now. The other day, a video popped up of him questioning somebody on climate change and fossil fuels. But for Holden Hoggatt, for him to attack Clay Higgins the way he's doing and mudslinging, that's wrong. Why not run on your record? Why not run and say what you're going to do different than Clay? See, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the whole thing. Look, I'm going to use, for example, I know he's a Democrat, but Gary Chambers, that is running against John Kennedy. He can't say nothing bad about John Kennedy. People love John Kennedy, so he's going to slander, and he's going to try to bring John Kennedy down so much that people are going to be like, oh, our sense of humanity, we have to vote for Gary Chambers. And ladies and gentlemen, look, I mentioned this at the beginning of this segment because I talked about backstabbing Cassidy. If this was a conservative running against Bill Cassidy, and no, I'm not even going to say this. They should not attack him personally. And this is what this ad was. It was a personal attack. Any conservative can run against Bill Cassidy right now on his record. He voted to impeach Donald Trump. He also voted for this. He also sided with the Democrats for this. You can run on something like that. You can attack. Look, your political record, open game. I'm not against a political opponent saying or running an ad against somebody's political record. Your political record is public knowledge. You can go ahead and use that, but to personally attack a candidate, that means you're desperate. And look, I don't know if Holden is listening. I don't know if Holden knows about this show. But ladies and gentlemen, well, he probably knows now because I sent him an email. But he needs to pull this ad. First off, this ad was ridiculous. He had somebody impersonating Clay Higgins and trying to make it look funny. Ladies and gentlemen, Clay has done. Now, look, I don't know about this assault on 1991, and I don't know about child supports or whatever. Clay said he had a dramatic spiritual awakening a while back. So I don't know all about that. But ladies and gentlemen, first off, you're pulling accusations from 1991. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 30 years old. I turned 30 this month. That was a year before my birthday. So you're pulling stuff from 31 years ago. Holden, you're a little better than that, in my opinion. This should not be done. Ladies and gentlemen, look, I can understand if a Democrat don't like Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney went against the Republican Party. Bill Cassidy went against the Republican Party. We just talked about Lisa Murkowski, went totally against. She's a rhino. She has voted multiple times with the Democrat Party. These candidates need to point that out. But Republicans attacking Republicans is wrong. I think it's Ronald Reagan that said the 11th commandment is thou shalt not bash another Republican. Like I said, political record, I'm not against that, ladies and gentlemen. I honestly think that's fair game. If I'm a state representative and you think I voted wrong, you can go on the air and say, look, Bill Cassidy, why you think I'm going to use me for a prime example. You know why I call Bill Cassidy backstabbing Cassidy? Because, look, he backstabbed us on Trump impeachment. He backstabbed us on the gun bills. He backstabbed us on other legislation. Ladies and gentlemen, that's his political record. I can go on this microphone and I can call him out. But I cannot go ahead and I found something personal about Bill Cassidy. I want to tell the whole world about it. That would make me look like a fool. Attacking a man personally. And look, I don't know what Holden has against Clay Higgins. The only thing I heard was the reason he was running because Clay don't get nothing done in Washington, and I will get something done. Oh, really? If Nancy Pelosi's House Speaker, will you go ahead and get legislation passed? Oh, I'm not going to work with Nancy Pelosi. Then you're not going to get nothing passed. You're going to be in the same boat as Clay. Holden, you're slinging mud and you're wrong for it. Ladies, and look, I was telling people, look, if you want to vote for Holden, go ahead and vote for him. I can't stand when especially the Republican Party, attacks another Republican personally. Not politically, but personally. And even that, because I'm gonna throw some. It was Eddie Risponi that ran against Ralph Abraham. Quoted some legislation. He voted with Nancy Pelosi 400 and some times. Ladies and gentlemen, if you go look at every Republican representative, they probably voted with Nancy Pelosi because it's stuff that was helping the country. Big legislation and stuff that takes away your freedom. No. So you even got to watch politically. But people are going to watch his ad and be like, oh my goodness, Clay's a bad person. We can't vote for Clay. Clay Higgins, you got my vote. I don't know if you're listening, man, but you got my vote. On that note, I'll be right back after this short break.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all in one word, the Scott Ford Show, and it's on Rumble. And I also have a motivational success show on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell. That would mean a lot to me. Enjoy your life. Thank you, Isaac. God bless.
You're my peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, back to the last segment. Look, politically, you got to be careful with political records and everything, too. I understand that. But ladies and gentlemen, like rhinos, okay, I can understand. I use a perfect example of Bill Cassidy. I go ahead and I do attack Bill Cassidy on his voting record. To my knowledge, I've never attacked Bill Cassidy personally. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I could stoop that low. And ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm going to say this, okay? We have a local chief of police race. I had one of the candidates on my show, Rodney Chitwood. And I went up to Rodney and I went up to Mr. Hubert. I haven't got to the third guy yet. I haven't talked to him. I asked all three of them to be on the show. Only one agreed. And but I'm watching this race very carefully because it's around my hometown. And I noticed something about these three candidates. They have not attacked each other personally. They say, look, we feel we're the best man for the job. We are, we think we're more qualified than our opponent. but they haven't attacked the other opponents personally, even politically. And I told 2 out of the 3, I admire you for that. Because you're not stooping to so low that you think, well, this is going to help me win, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And one of the candidates told me, they said, look, there's no need for that. We're all trying to gain a position. And we got to leave it up to the voters to decide if they think we're the best person for the job. And I admire that, ladies and gentlemen. They don't have politicians like that too much. And ladies and gentlemen, look, this is happening because there's just not national elections. There are also local elections that are going on. And you need to be aware of that as well. But, you know, even some local elections, I seen that a while back where they were trashing the other opponent. You don't need to do that. Not especially a town that everybody knows everybody. All that's going to start is problems. And on the national stage, I understand that. You're trying to reach more voters. You're trying to, look, run on policy. Don't run on personal attacks. But ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Holden Hoggatt I don't know what he's doing. All right, so as the election gets closer, the midterms, you're going to see a lot of dirty ads. And John Featherman, I'm not a big fan of John Featherman. I think he should not be in this race at all because of his medical condition. But John Featherman is really putting the hammer down on Dr. Oz, Metham Oz. I think that's how I call him Dr. Oz. Why do I say that? On Thursday, John Featherman tweeted a billboard that will face both directions on the Philadelphia highway near the Eagles Stadium. You know, and look, this billboard is going to make Eagles fans berserk because it's so bad. It's going to make people in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania so mad because he's accused. And now this is what Featherman is accusing Dr. Oz of, Mehmet Oz, accusing his Republican opponent of being a fan. Republican opponent of being a fan of the Eagles' most hated NFC East rival, the Dallas Cowboys. Now that Dr. Oz is running for office, he acts like he's a real Philly sports fan, but we all know he's really a Cowboy fan. Featherman tweeted, "Our beautiful new billboard at the Lennox will not let you Eager fans forget it." Good job, Featherman. Can't run on issues. Can't hold only one debate on October 25th. You can give when you said we should have multiple debates. You can't run on your record. You can't go against Dr. Oz because he ain't a politician. All you can do is tell people he's a Cowboys fan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a New Orleans Saints fan. Have been since I was a knee-high to a grasshopper. And I don't like the Cowboy fans. I don't like the Cowboys, not the fans. I'm sorry. But I don't like the Cowboys. But if Joe Jack in the Box comes out and says, I'm running for Congress, and somebody puts a billboard like this up, I'm going to laugh like I did when I saw this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is grasping for straws. Oh, I can't get him on issues. Oh, the race is tightening up. Oh, my goodness, what can I do? They put a billboard out saying he's a Cowboys fan. Now, the picture that they have on there is from when Dr. Oz was on his TV show or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, this is putting a billboard out and saying Dr. Oz is a Cowboy fan. Don't vote for him, you Philly fans. Look, hey, they can be fans of whatever. If their policies are right, I'm going to vote for them. Look, I hope people in Philadelphia are not that naive. Oh, we're for Dr. Oz. We think Dr. Oz has his right stance on abortion, taxes, laws. Wait, he's a Cowboy fan? Huh, I'm voting for Featherman. There might be some people that this might look. Hey, I've seen some crazy football fans out there, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen crazy football fans out there. Some of them some Republicans might say, we're going to vote Featherman because he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Now, if that's the case, Featherman, I got to give him some advice. What about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Hey, he's a Cowboy fan. What you going to do on the other side of Pennsylvania with Pittsburgh? He's a Cincinnati fan. Ooh. This like I said, this is grasping for straws. Literally, ladies and gentlemen. It's the same thing. And look, I know I've been tweaking at it, but with the Hershon Walker issue, this lady, he told me to have an abortion. He told me to have a second abortion, but I have a son. I even fought for him from child support. Shows the court records. Oh, they're not there. Now, I confided in a friend. You can interview her. Yes, she was told to have an abortion by Hershon Walker. This is grasping for straws, ladies and gentlemen. Because MSNBC might say, the polls don't look right, but the media, they all, the polls don't look good. Oh, the polls don't look good. This is all grasping for straws. This is petty. Look, the last segment, I thought about a Louisiana politician doing this to a Republican candidate as well. At least he tried to bring out something relevant. You didn't see that other candidate tell Clay Higgins, you're a Cowboy fan. Oh, people don't vote for him because he's a Cowboy fan. That's petty. This is petty. Anyway, so let's continue. Tulsi Gabbard it leaves Democrat Party, denounces it as an Elise Colbert. Former Democrat presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard announced that she left the Democrat Party Thursday, denouncing the organization as a leftist Colbert. Gabbard, who retired from the House of Representatives in 2021, attacked the institution in a nearly 30-minute video posted to her YouTube account. She did not announce plans to join the Republican Party or adapt any other political affiliation, however. And this is her quote: "I can no longer remain in today's Democrat Party. This is not under that is now under control of complete control of elite Colbert of whoremongers driven by cowardly wokeness, which divides us by the rationality of every issue and strokes anti-white racism," Gabbard said in an express post to her Twitter page. Now, this is what I'm going to go ahead and say, because I think she's going to go to the Republican Party. Will she? Will she not? We don't know. But it's kind of funny. I got an article today from the Daily Wire. Tulsi Gabbard to campaign for Republican Senate candidates after leaving Democrat Party. Former Democrat presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard is set to campaign for a Republican Senate hopeful after announcing her departure from the Democrat Party on Tuesday. Gabbard supports support of New Hampshire GOP Senate candidate Don Bolduc comes just one day after she said she is no longer a Democrat. Polls have Bolduc within striking distance of Hassan, with some speculation the Republicans could pull off an upset. Now, this is in New Hampshire, ladies and gentlemen. We don't agree on every issue, but I am honored to have the support of Tulsi Gabbard, who shares my view that the status quo is broken and we need to change the direction, Bolduc said in a statement. So, ladies and gentlemen, now, you don't agree with everything. Now, look, this is a win for the Republican Party. She did something that Liz Cheney probably would never do. I'm just because I'm thinking about this right now. Remember Liz Cheney? I'm gonna vote Democrat. I'm gonna stop every Republican candidate that backs Donald Trump. I kept on asking this: why not leave the Republican Party? Now, Gabbard, I didn't know she started a podcast. I didn't know she is on Locals. I followed her. To be honest with you, I thought she was a Republican from the get-go. I don't remember. I think she ran in 2016. I know she didn't run in 20. I don't think she ran in 2020, but she did run in 2016. And I thought she was a Republican, to be honest with you. And it blew my mind when she was a Democrat. Ladies and gentlemen, at least she said I left because there's so much I disagree with it. I'm not going to stay in this party. Now, with her stance and the way the Republican Party she's probably going to go ahead and be an independent. But ladies and gentlemen, look, like I said, at least she did something that Liz Cheney didn't do. Liz Cheney's still saying she's going to stay a Republican, but she's going to go ahead and campaign against every Trump-backed candidate or Republicans. Now, the Democrat Party don't want her, so I don't think she's going to turn. That's maybe one reason why she hasn't done it yet. But look, we'll take Ms. Gabbard all day long. Now, my only fear would be with her coming to the Republican Party is that she would try to influence the Republicans to go more to the left and be more centered left. That would be the issue, because there is a candidate, and I don't think I saved the article. Let me see. Oh, no, I did not. I think it's the Nevada Senate candidate says, I want to be more like Joe Manchin. I want to be more moderate. That's it. That if that happens, he's gonna go more left than right, because that's what Joe Manchin does. Now, Joe Manchin's a Democrat, so I don't know what he does, but that's the only thing I wouldn't want, because I think we need to go more conservative. I think we need to go more towards the right, not hardcore right, like Antifa and them. No, I don't think, not Antifa, QAnon and stuff. I don't think we should do that. But we need to be based on right. We need to get more to the right, not more left centered. We need to be more right centered and protect our rights as American citizens. So that's some news. All right, so I want to go ahead and give you a Cajun thought today. Ladies and gentlemen, we as a party, Republican Party, we're doing well right now. I believe in this November, we're going to have a red wave. All signs are pointing to it. I don't trust polls. The only poll that we're going to trust is on November 8th. Now, this isn't because of nationally, because I do see some young people, and unfortunately it's more towards the left, not to the right. I want to say this. I think, first off, we don't have enough young people in the Republican Party. We're looking good right now. We're looking good. We're looking like we're going to win the House. We're looking like we're going to win the Senate nationally. But unfortunately, young people are not excited about politics. Ladies and gentlemen, I was 15 years old, give or take, 14, 15 years old when I got into politics. I've already told my story. When I can't remember my age, probably 8, 9 years old, when Al Gore and Bush ran, and that was the first election. I don't remember the Clinton, because first off, he was elected in 1992. I was pooping diapers. And then the next one, I was 4 years old, 5 years old. So I couldn't tell you what was going on in them campaigns. But I do remember Al Gore. I remember the night of the election. I remember my dad, and that's when you used to stay up, and you still stay up till late. But now it's like 3 or 4 days until you know what happens. But that night, I remember my dad watching the news coverage, and Al Gore was on the screen, and Al Gore was saying that he wouldn't have every vote count. That is my first, and I remember asking my dad some questions. That was my first memory of politics. And it just progressed in there. Bush and John Kerry. I don't remember every aspect of the election, but guess what? I remember it. I remember going into it. By the time that I was 18 years old, I already knew I wanted to be a Republican. I already knew what my stance were. I was educated in politics, and it wasn't because of somebody telling me stuff. Yes, I was introduced to Rush. I was introduced to Moon Griffon. I was introduced to all these people, and I listened to them. Maybe that's what formed a lot of my opinions, but at the same time, I studied politics. I was young into it. I knew. I was probably the only 15 to 16-year-old that watched Sean Hannity. I was into politics, and this encouraged me the other day. I walked into a council meeting, and I met up with a good friend of mine that we used to work together. And I bluntly told him, and we already were scheduling for him to come on and talk about this topic, probably to great lengths. But I told him, I said, man, I didn't know you was on the council. He says, no, I wanted to get involved with my community. He is 29 years old. I am 30 years old. I've taken a different path on politics. I am on the side of talking politics or talking about politicians. But I remember walking in, this thought was, I think I talked about it a little bit on the podcast, but I'm really trying to focus on it right here. I walked in there and there was no young people except me and my friend that sits on the council. And ladies and gentlemen, this issue is a problem. What happens after? Now, we do have some young millennials that are running for Congress and stuff like that. I've heard it on both sides, Democrat and Republican. I'm not saying this is what I want people to realize. I don't want you to think because you're Republican, I want you to get all you young people, if you're Republicans, to swarm to the ballot box. And if you're Democrat, don't know. Young people need to get involved with politics. They need to know what's going on. But I don't see a lot of young people excited about politics. Oh, we're going to worry about that when we get older. No, it's time to get worried about it now. Form your opinions now. And look, just don't listen to people. You go do your own research. On a second thought that I had, you know, I do talk a lot about national politicians. I also talk a lot about state issues on this podcast. It's the Cajun Conservative. I talk a little bit about Louisiana politics when it comes up, like today. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of local races. I talked about, you know, my good buddy that's running for chief of police. And if you go watch the interview on YouTube, you go listen to the episode he was on. He said he was complaining, and his family asked him, "What are you going to do about it?" And he said, "You know, I'm going to try to do something about it. I'm going to try to become the chief of police." And this is where I'm going to come with you, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a person that says, I think something needs to change, it starts at the local level. Ladies and gentlemen, we have so many there's countless local elections going on right now. There's school boards, like in my area, school boards, council members, mayor's race, chief of police races, aldermen's, and all this stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I got two friends, and I'm not, you know, I mentioned Mr. Rodney Chitwood. He's running. He's cool. My other friend, I asked him, and he's like, nah, let's leave that alone. But I have two friends that are running, one for alderman, one for chief of police. And the reason they both tell me, because they tired of seeing their community go down in a hole. And they want to do something to make a change. If you see something's going on in your school board, go vote. Or at least if you go vote, that'll be the least you could do. But at the same time, if you think you can do a better job, go run. And look, that's to everybody. That's Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian. Go run. Get involved with your local community. Change your local politics. Because that is also what I'm not. Look, I've been to, I started going to local council meetings just to see what's going on. And that's two things I see right off the jump. No young people. And then you don't hardly have no people there at all. The last council meeting I maybe went to had 10 people, maybe. And I'm like, nobody cares about local politics? So on this note, I want to tell you, look, if you're a young person, get involved with politics. Start studying politics. Go, you know, and look, I'm not trying to say make it like your life, because a lot of people say, well, what about you? You have 2 shows a week. This isn't all my life, ladies and gentlemen. You know, if I would get paid, I probably would be a little bit more in depth. But this isn't my whole life. My whole life is serving Jesus Christ and trying to win the young people to the Lord. Because I already told you that my calling is not to be a big famous podcaster. And if that happens, great. Thank you, Lord. But the Lord told me your call is to preach the gospel. That's my first call. I'm doing that as a youth pastor. I'm doing that as a minister. And then he told me a while back, your call is to introduce the truth to expose lies and introduce truth. And that's what I'm doing here. So young people, you need to get involved with politics. You need to get involved. Start studying. And then to everyone else, stop sitting on your couch and complaining. Well, my mayor did. I heard that earlier. The mayor did this. The mayor did that. The mayor did that. The councilman did this. Councilman did that. Run. Take matters in your own hands. But Isaac, I think I'm going to lose. Well, at least you tried. Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. I was scared to get a podcast mic. I was nervous. But now I get a lot of reports. Hey, you're doing a good job. So on that note, if you're a young person, I'm going to just reiterate. If you're a young person, start getting into politics and start seeing what's happening in this nation. Ask people about politics. And secondly, to the older folks, if you don't like what's going on, get involved in the community. Try to change it up. And because it starts at a local level. We know everything that's going on nationally. And in your state, you probably know what's going on statewide. But get involved with your local leaders and elections. And see what you can do to change your community. That's what I'm doing right now. On that note, I want to thank you for listening to the Cajun Conservative Show. It is an honor and blessing for you always to be with me here today. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. Remember, Jesus Christ is coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart, because Jesus overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus, your Lord and Savior, send me an email, and I'll tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and make heaven your eternal home. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good one. Bye-bye.
He is the open